Welcome to Season 2 of the Panther podcast. We're continuing to tell the story of the Panthers, which are the faculty, administration, student body, alumni, and community who make up the Brookhaven School District in Brookhaven, Mississippi. In addition to the new episodes hosted by Superintendent Dr. Rod Henderson, you'll also enjoy behind-the-scenes documentary episodes along with promotional and educational videos that showcase various departments. Everything you see and hear are noteworthy pieces to the huge puzzle making up the Brookhaven School District. Watch, listen, and enjoy as the story continues into the 2024-2025 school year.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Panther Podcast. I'm Dr. Rod Henderson, Superintendent of the Brookhaven School District, and it's my pleasure and my honor today to have one of my sons, one of my former players here, Mr. Jessie Bowman. We're gonna talk today about our 20-year anniversary of the 2004 state championship that the Brookhaven High School football team won, and some other things. He's going to tell us about what he's doing now, how's everything going with him. But, man, I appreciate you being here.
Coach, it's an honor to be here with you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It
Look,
really is.
I could talk about this all day. In this episode here, we have a time frame and so on, but, hey, look, it might go over time. Yeah. It's okay because we're talking about something near and dear to both of us during the time that was special to us in 2004 when we had the opportunity to win a state championship for the city of Brookhaven, for the Brookhaven School District. But before we get into that, man, tell us what's going on with you now,
Man, Coach, I've been at Stan King for 10 years, so I'm selling cars at Stan King. Yeah. And so life just been, been good. I can't complain at all, and I'm just glad to be an honor for y'all to have me back, talking about the 2004 state championship team. And, it was a great honor, from every step of the way. And I'm just glad to be back.
Well, it takes a special personality to sell cars. I tell you that right there. You have the personality to do it, being able to relate to people and so on. I kind of tried my hand at it for a minute.
Did you really, Coach? I didn't know that.
Tell you the story. We got time. When I went to Dallas, before I came back in 2002, went over there and actually had an interview at CarMax. Now, CarMax is a little different. Yeah. Well, CarMax, they're more, you got to come to them and things like that. Man, I did that for an hour.
No.
It lasted about an hour. You know what I'm saying? I figured, you know what? This is not for me.
Right,
it lasted an hour and that was about it. So I left that alone and did something different. But it was just a pastime because I went over there to coach it.
Right. So, I'm glad that it didn't work out for you.
It didn't.
Because you remember, if you barely remember, Coach, we was at Summer Feed 2002.
Over there,
and Coach Hardy and I was in the cafeteria, and we begging you to come on back.
That's true story.
True story.
That's true story. And to be honest with you, I didn't have any intention to come back. I was over there doing what I do and things like that, and I came over here, just to get a little workout in, whatever. Back then, I could still do some things. Yeah. And Coach Peavy came up to me when we talked about it, and I was like, I'm good, Coach. I'm gonna hang over there in Dallas. I was living in the DeSoto area, and went home.
Right.
Next couple of hours, Coach Hardy pulls up in the tracker, the old white tracker.
Pulled up in the tracker, yeah.
Brought Coach Peavy to the house, and man, they talked to me, and I said, okay, let me think about this. Yeah. So when I left, Dallas is 7 hours from here. Yeah. I had 7 hours to think. And that 7 hours was the longest 7 hours. Boy, I thought, I was like, man, I got two sisters live over there, so I'm going to live with my sister, but be coming back home. So I made up in my mind, I said, we're going to come back, because Coach told us at that time, he said, Coach, we got a nice young group now. Yeah. They're going to be all right. We need, come on back and be a part of this. And I said, well, okay, let's do it. Came back, and the rest is history, and I tell people all the time, in 2002, we were young. Yeah. But we were getting there. In 2003, I felt like we had more talent than we had in 2004.
I totally agree with you,
Coach.
What
do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. I'm talking about we were stacked, loaded, and I'm talking about, Philip Tobias was the anchor of the defense. And I was, his wing part. He was Batman, I was Robin. Just seriously.
Yes,
And
sir.
our defensive front was so much better than
Deep.
our '04 front.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it's just some stuff. The ball just didn't fall
Yeah.
our way
Yeah.
in '03. And we was actually better '03 than '04.
Wayne County, right?
Wayne
out there
County. I
again.
mean, 2 years in a row
Yeah.
we went against Wayne County, and
Yeah.
it was just like, wow.
Well, to put some perspective on what he's saying from a defensive line standpoint, it was you, it was Tobias, Zach Ray was on the line at that time.
No, I think
wasn't on
no.
offense yet, was
I think Zach Ray.
he? Yeah, Zach Ray.
It was Zach
Because he
Ray.
wasn't on offense at
Yes,
that
sir.
time. It was Zach Ray, Julius Lloyd.
No,
Was Julius or
Julius
Jesse?
Lord was '03 class, so it was actually Patrick Earl.
That's what I'm talking about. The 03. I'm talking about the 03 line.
The '03 line was
Yeah.
was it Patrick Earl?
Patrick Earl was 04.
Okay.
04. He played some on the 04 line.
Yeah, it'd be wow. It's well, I
It's
just
been
know
some- it's been some licks.
it been it have that. It have that.
It was pretty deep though.
Yeah.
And man, look, we were deep at running back. We were deep in a lot of positions at that time. But I tell people, we just didn't know how to get over that hump at the time.
We didn't.
And that lost to Wayne County right out the stone.
Hurt.
And
I'm
it
telling
drove us through the off season, man. We had one of the best off seasons I've ever been a part of. Right up in this weight room right here, right outside on that track out there, And it drove us, and really what it did was it made sure, and you all always did this, but you all held each other accountable.
Yeah, you right about that.
We didn't have to do a whole lot of holding accountable. Y'all all held each other accountable,
Right.
And to talk about that coaching staff, you had Coach Bristol,
Yeah.
and Coach Hart, of course, and Coach Palmer, Coach Stokes,
Yeah.
Coach Peavy, of course. But Coach Bristol used to take pleasure in finding something wrong.
Finding something wrong. I'm talking about.
Tell them about the bathroom and the locker room.
Oh
how that had
man,
to
I'm
be.
talking about it's still like to the stand, like the standards that you could not leave your locker unlocked.
That's right.
I mean, your restroom had to be a certain way, one way, and you couldn't like if you urinate on the toilet. I mean, I'm talking about when Coach Peavy first came here. I mean, he brought discipline. That's just what it was. We just so everybody had to be accountable for it. And then like I wasn't finna be start running for nobody cause running was my worst thing. I didn't want to run extra for nobody. And then it was simple. If you just use the restroom, flush the toilet.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you'd be surprised what stick with me as back 20 years ago and so on.
Yes, sir.
That how I've run my life. I mean, and everything like I'm so like this. I'm like put my whole day is schedule. I'm talking about like, and that's just how and Coach Peavy, of course, Coach Henderson. They brought that into my life, and so it just. I mean, you'd be surprised at the small stuff that turn to big stuff as you get adult. And I really appreciate you, Coach.
Oh man,
I really appreciate you.
Look,
Seriously.
I know I'm jumping around, because I'm gonna backtrack and ask you some other stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna piggyback off of the bathroom thing. It's the small stuff, like he said. When they would go out, and we would wait till everybody would go out.
Yeah.
Coach Bristol would be the last one to go out. He checking lockers. He going to the bathroom. And like Jessie said, if the toilet wasn't flush, if they didn't wipe the excess off of the toilet and things, anything like that, tissue on the floor, anything like that, water left running and things like that, Coach Bristol step out there on the field. Yes, sir. We got tissue.
Yeah.
We got this, we got that. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, that's
line it
what I
up.
mean. That's just-
We about to get it done. But that taught you, there's responsibility beyond just going out there and practicing.
Correct.
We wanted you all to treat this place like it was your house,
Right.
because you were gonna have your own one day.
You right about that.
And we wanted you all to understand what it took to have your own and to take care of it. Yeah, it's a locker room, it's a weight room and things like that. You have you have your smells and stuff, but that's natural. That's what happened. But you don't have to contribute to it.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make sure because that right there contributed to what we did on the field, discipline-wise, and we had a very disciplined team.
Yes,
We didn't get a lot of ridiculous penalties and things like that. We had to count for it. On Mondays we count on loafs.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And a loaf was basically on defense on our side of the ball. A loaf was if you didn't get to that ball. So if we didn't get 11 people to the ball, that's a loaf.
That's a loaf.
Count it. That's a loaf. So we end up with 20 loaves. We're gonna do 20 up downs. And that was just the standard.
Yeah.
So
I mean, then he was just speaking on loaves and stuff, and I think, and that ties into being a leader and stuff, So that was my job there. Like that's doing extra. I ain't trying to do nothing extra. We gonna do it right the first time, and we gonna be done. So therefore, like holding your teammates accountable for it. Like if I gotta do extra, and for something that's simple, you just getting to the ball, and it's something that you been coaching, that coaches been telling us to do. Now we're gonna have a problem now, cause you got me doing extra, and for something that is so small, just get to the ball, bro. And if you're not gonna get to the ball, I promise you, then we was deep. We got somebody else gonna fill your spot in, and then it's gonna be hard for you to get your spot back because you going back down to the bottom of the depth chart. So that's why like the coach was telling you, we was holding each other accountable for what you got going on, because I ain't trying to do no extra. Man, so we really caught on in the middle of the season. Then because your lows, we didn't have no more lows. We didn't have the restroom. But we caught on to the restroom part, a couple of
y'all would check behind each other.
Yeah, because we had to check behind each other because we weren't going to be doing all that, man. Because they're going to be if you already know, it would have been a problem if I had to just keep on doing some stuff that, that's simple.
Right. The main thing also, we didn't ask a whole lot of you on defense. Our scheme was very basic. Simple. But what was really important in our scheme was you got to run to the ball.
Easy, yeah.
You got to hustle to the ball. Everybody has to get to the ball. Like I said, nothing elaborate. We did a few things that, would cause some problems, but at the end of the day, we were all about hustle.
Yeah.
We were all about effort and things like that. We were all about passion. If you didn't love playing, you couldn't play on that side. You couldn't play, period. If you didn't love playing. If you were just out there just going through the motion, no. So we had several guys that looked the role, that looked good.
Yeah.
But hey, you're not holding up to the standard. So let me get this cat in here that might not look as good, might not be as big, but they were going to hustle, and they were going to work hard, and they were going to do what was asked of them. They were going to be where they were supposed to be. That person was going to play before that good-looking one, So let me back up, though, because we jumped on out there and went fast.
Okay.
Let's go back to when you graduated, and then you went on to college, you went to Colin.
Okay, yeah.
And then tell us about that experience, then go up to Mississippi State. You're a Bulldog.
Yeah, I am a Bulldog.
Let's talk about it.
So when I was fortunate enough to, play here at Brookhaven High, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship at Colin.
Hard work.
And so then therefore, I was All-American at Colin. And then when I got done with playing at Colin, then I actually went to the SEC. I played ball at Mississippi State.
Coach Kroon was there?
Coach Kroon was my coach.
Okay.
Coach Kroon was my coach, and and actually, and then I just tell you, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I tell anybody, I've been all around the world, and I just come from Mississippi, come from Brookhaven, and nobody never would outwork me. And that's the tie of the community that I come from. I come from Brookhaven, and everybody know that I'm from Brookhaven, and my first game was playing when I was in the SEC, playing with Mississippi State. I played against the 2007 LSU National Championship team. And I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about, this was the big guy, Herman Johnson. He was absolutely the biggest baby born in Louisiana at that time. And so Herman was actually 6'9", 430 pounds.
Yes,
I'm talking about literally, and here on me, coming in staggering 6'1", 320. I'm talking about, but when I tell you, I didn't back down, not a damn play. I'm talking about, but he was so big. He got with one hand that ripped my whole entire jersey off. I was like, whoa, Nelly.
Welcome to the SEC.
Welcome to the SEC. And so what I did was I got another jersey put back on and went right back out there, and he had to do it again. And eventually he got tired. And still, that 6'1" guy still was. I still was coming at it.
Chopped that tree down.
I was still coming at it. It was national championship. It was on national TV, and I was like, well, I'm from Brookhaven. I noticed the city was rooting for me, so I just had to go. And he was absolutely the big human being, Coach.
Well, that's the pride of being from here. The people get behind us. Just like the people got behind us during that championship season. People want to see you go off and do great for yourself, and to be able to talk about that and then bring that experience back to this generation right here means a whole lot. A lot of these young kids don't know about that.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They don't know about that and understand where you've been and where you played and so on. And that's stories that we need to be able to tell. And so Please go back and Google Herman Johnson if you don't believe it. Herman Johnson was a huge individual.
Humongous.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
And yes, he was the biggest baby ever born in Louisiana at that time. Probably still is.
Yeah.
But to be able to step on the field, was it in Mississippi State?
It was at Mississippi State. It was in Start Vegas.
Oh,
it was.
Start Vegas. Yes,
It
sir.
was up there. And I mean, like I'm saying, I just come from out of Colin, but I didn't realize it was. I mean, LSU was who? Yeah. It was. He was. Yeah. It was big. Coach.
So there's different atmospheres all around the SEC. What do you think is the loudest atmosphere?
The loudest atmosphere I would say was South Carolina.
Really?
Yes, sir. South Carolina, and then the most beautiful.
Bright Stadium.
Yeah, the most beautiful stadium I ever seen was Tennessee Volunteer.
Is that on the river?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then they,
Stadium.
yeah, it's nice. They stadium is like the outside of it is trimmed in gold. It was just like amazing.
Right.
And so what Coach Kroom did for us the day before, for y'all won't be shocked of what's going on. So we're gonna just take you to the stadium, and we just gonna tour the stadium for when we come tomorrow. For you won't be and I most definitely
ready to play.
Yeah. So I mean, years later, and I must say, every time somebody asks me the most beautiful stadium, it's Tennessee Volunteer, and the most loudest stadium I ever played against was South Carolina. Yeah. I mean, Death Valley, it was loud out in Death Valley, but it just wasn't as like what South Carolina.
What about hostile wise? Would it be South Carolina?
No, hostile wild, I must say, and it was not so pleasant. It's West Virginia.
Really?
West Virginia, you we on the bench in West Virginia, fans, they right over your head.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, it's West Virginia.
So you heard some stuff.
Yeah, you heard some stuff right there. Yeah, so yeah.
Kind of remind you of South Pike.
Oh yeah.
South Pike field, the sideline is here. The stands are right there.
Yes, sir. You hear everything.
I mean, they in your mouth and they hear everything you say. So I had to whisper when I wanted to say something.
Yeah, everybody know. Now they know Dr. Henderson. When the coach, I'm talking about,
Lord, yeah.
Coach, will you please tell them like about your pocket, how with your pocket, how you used to have. See, if y'all only knew you knew me, Coach, I used to stay in trouble, not negative trouble. It wasn't that bad. He bring his pocket out. And when he bring his pocket out, I just had to hold on to his pocket. And wherever he go, I had to go with him because he come on, Jesse, get this pocket. So he already know because somebody must ain't doing this something they ain't got to do. So he just has loud, squeaky voice. Yeah.
Look, that was my way of keeping him close to me.
Yeah.
So I pulled my pocket out and said, hey, grab that right there.
Grab it right there.
Stay with me. Wherever I go, you go.
Yeah.
But that was all love, though, you know,
sir.
because I always tell y'all, I want what's best for you, you know.
Sir.
If I didn't give back what I learned, because I'm going to tell you, it was so much different when I came through here, you know. And I take pride in being a Panther, you know. Right. Well, we got dressed up on the stadium and that hole up under them, you know, and you all knew what that looked like, sir. And so on and everything. But, you know, I want you all to have stuff like this, you know, because it shows progression and things like that. I want you all to have the best, and then I want what's best for you all, because I knew what you all were capable of. So yeah, I did do that, you know, and he wasn't the only one, but he was often, but he wasn't the only one.
He really was.
You know, so yeah, we have a lot of stories, and like I said, this episode could go on forever. We couldn't even cover all the stories that we have. But a lot of the stories that we have are so memorable, you'll never forget anything like that. But let me go back to your college days. So you had an injury in college. You tore your quad. I remember that.
Yeah, I did.
I was at that game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so that's a rough injury in itself, you know. But you fought back, though.
Yeah. I mean, I fought back. I mean, if y'all don't know what a quad tendon consists of, quad tendon is your tendon behind your kneecap. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, that had broke. So to control this motion here, my tendon broke. So they had to take my whole kneecap off and put it on, you know, the surgery tape and braid my quad tendon back up.
It rolls up.
It rolls up. And so therefore, I was in the straight leg cast for 6 months. And so let me just tie back into that. That was actually, I'll never forget. And you'll be surprised stuff you never forget. That was actually 32 seconds left in Alabama game. And I was having one of the best games of my career. I think I finished the game out with 8 solos, tackle. And then that was when '08, and that's when, of course, that's when Alabama won the national championship. And so then they whole entire offensive line was the #1 offensive lineman in the country. And so therefore, I had a little chip on my shoulder because I just had to show, y'all might be as a unit one, but so
Rankings don't mean nothing.
yeah. And so that 32 seconds left in that game, my senior year, I told McCoy I attended. And so therefore, 32. So therefore, I actually got invited to the combine, but I mean, of course, I couldn't compete because my leg was in a straight leg cast, and after the straight leg cast, then I had another 6 months to rehab it. And so that's for a whole year. And if you ever know, the NFL is not for long. Right. I mean, my window of opportunity, it was basically gone. Yes, but like we're saying, Coach was saying, but I didn't give up. I actually went and worked out for 3 times for the New York Giants. And I did with Cleveland Browns. And then I went to 2 times with Philadelphia Eagles. But as my knee just wasn't strong enough at all. And so therefore, it wasn't strong. So I just had, when I was going to the tryout, I was just going off pure heart and soul. I wasn't probably like 65% healthy. Wow. But they was calling, and I wasn't finna tell them no. I had to go, Coach. I had to go. Yes, and so by the time when they were flying me out, like my knee was swelled back up like a balloon. And so I was like, man, but things like that happen, But I don't regret nothing. I don't regret that. People always ask me, do I regret? I don't, because I gave my best effort.
There you go.
I didn't leave nothing out there. And Coach would tell you, when it was time for me to get on the field, I'm running on the field, I'm running off the field. It was never a walking moment with me because I was so just excited just to go out there and hit somebody. And I didn't even realize that I could hit somebody and not get in trouble. Oh, that was the best thing I could ever have. Yeah. So that's why, So, that's what happened, Coach. 32 seconds left.
I'm glad I asked you that because I knew the story, but I didn't know the whole story.
Yes, sir.
And to be able to the extent of a quad injury, he just told you. When that goes right there, and as we said, it's holding everything together. Quad is a big muscle, So it's the tension of it right there in itself, is holding in place. When you snap that thing rolls back this way. Yeah. So you have to go through a lot to get it back where it is and then get it reattached and then go through the rehab, getting your flexibility back and things like that.
Yes, sir.
You basically jumped out there and was doing trials, like you said, 65%, probably 50%.
Yeah.
But you did it because you love the game, for it. I know you do.
Yes, sir.
And you did it because you're not the type of person for somebody to tell you what you can't do.
Correct.
So that's what I try to tell our young youth today, Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Hard work, you can do anything. You can put your mind to it, you can do anything. But you're out there basically on one leg.
One leg, Coach.
Continuing to chase your dream and so on. We all know at some point the chase ends, But you were able to at least say, hey, I gave it all I had.
Gave it all, though.
And that's what we got out of you every day, here. And that's why we were able to put individuals in place and have people around you with similar attitudes, together to win a championship.
You're right.
You see, because you can't just wish upon it. It takes a lot of hard work. And this young team that they have now, I love watching them because they play hard, They don't know any better, and that's what I like about it.
That's what you like.
Yeah, I like about it. And that's why we were like that in '02.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better. We just didn't have things in place at that moment. We ended up not, getting put out of the playoffs first round that year. But we progressed the next year. We went a little deeper, and we that close to beating Wayne County. And then the next year when we got over the hump and so on. So it's the progression of it. It's the hard work, that you put in and everything. And I love watching this group here, so we hope they continue to progress.
Right, and I would like to say something about this group. And I actually be here more than people think because I don't like to be in the limelight with kids and stuff. I think kids should be kids and, everybody, I don't like, when I do come around, I don't know if they know I played or whatnot. I don't never tell them, my accolades or anything. I just like to be around kids who like to be kids. And when I go out there and see practice and stuff, I see kids having fun, flying around, and they're enjoying what they're doing. And so therefore, and we do, and it's safe to say, and I can go on paper, we do have a special group up in there right now. And so if they all come together and gel and realize it's not about them, it's about the person next to them, And when if everybody let them on the field feel that way, it's not about me, it's with the person next to you. That's when you come get your team camaraderie. And when you get your team camaraderie, you can make a good push deep off in the playoff and possibility to win the state championship. And so I'm actually, if I be here and I'm really pulling for them guys, because as I'm looking at the schedule, I'm looking if everybody come together as one, we can be special, Coach.
They can be special.
They can be special. And everybody G-ing together and then come together. And then, it's take what the coaches, just buy into what the coaches putting down, telling you that if they buy in, Coach, they can be special.
And stay focused.
Stay focused.
Season alone, you have a 10-game season, then you have 4 games in the playoffs. Stay focused. That's a long season. I remember the night we won the state championship, we celebrated. We got back on that bus, and by the time we got to Byron, that bus was quiet.
Yeah.
Because everybody was tired, We were up here all day waiting, just anticipating the game and so on. Game over with, man. Yeah, man, we hyped and we celebrated.
Yeah.
But I told Coach Hart, I said, man, it is quiet on this bus.
Yeah.
Because everyone was tired. It was like mission accomplished.
Well, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, So I tell them the same thing, stay focused, stay together for one thing. Stay together, stay focused. And also just listen to what coaches say, because they know exactly what it takes to get there. So, well, a little more thing before we close out. At this time, I always try to give individuals time to talk about what they're doing. You already told us you were selling cars at Stan King and everything like
yes,
that.
Sir.
So tell the people how they can contact, where they can get hold of you and so on.
Yes,
if you come out.
If you don't mind, I'd be greatly appreciate if you of course my name is Jessie Bowman, and my contact information is my cell number is 601-754-4742. If you're looking for any car, brand new car, used car, SUV, I'd be more than glad to take care of you, and just come back and ask for me, and I'd be more than glad to take care of you.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Look, this might be a part 2.
Come on, I'm ready for you.
We might come back and break down each game.
Right.
Talk about each game and so on.
I can break it down. I'm telling you.
And I believe that, and I would love to do that and talk about each game, because each game has a story within itself.
Yeah.
I promise you, each game has a story within itself. It has some sayings within itself.
Right.
But
we're not going to talk about 2002. South Pike. We can talk about it, baby. And cook 03, but we can talk about it. We can talk about it because I'm a war daddy, and if this man right here, Coach Henderson, asks me to do anything, ask him what I do.
Yes, that's why he's very dear to my heart. I told him I would never forget you.
Yeah.
You are mine forever. That was 03. We beat South Pike 2-0.
2-0.
They were loaded.
Yeah.
South Pike was loaded that year. Right out there on King Field, Philip Tobias took the ball away. He stripped the ball?
Well, it was a fumble.
It was a fumble.
Yeah. It was fumble, and I took it down about 50 to 60
yards. I thought he was going to score. Kendrick Maxwell, stick man.
He's stick man.
I see it now. All he had to do was just hang back a little bit, but he was with you. I said, well, you trying to score the ball?
I'm trying to score.
And block the guy, but you got tackled, and so on. We're going to leave it right there. The rest is history, and I'll never forget it.
Yes, sir.
I feel bad after that.
No, don't you feel bad, because guess what I do for you?
Yes, sir.
I do it again, Coach.
All right, and there you go.
I do
We're
it
going to
again.
leave it at that. Don't ask us about it, because we won't tell you.
I do it again, man.
Anyway, man, I appreciate it,
Ain't
man.
no problem at all. I love you too, Coach.
Yes, sir. Look, that's another episode of our Panther podcast. Thank you all for being on with us. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Jesse on with us today. So, and keep in mind, it's always a great day to be a Panther.
Always.
Thanks for tuning in to the Panther Podcast. Subscribe, like, and share to be notified for future episodes. We'll talk to you soon.